Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Don't convert God's house. Pupils as soapbox for campaign. Uzodinma tells clergy. Don't convert God's house. Pupils as soapbox for campaign. Uzodinma tells clergy. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State has advised the church to be wary of partisan politics, just as he admonished the clergy to resist the temptation of converting God's houses and pulpits as soapboxes for political campaigns. The governor spoke on Sunday at the Holy Trinity Catholic Cathedral, Olu, in Imo State on the occasion of the opening session of the second plenary of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, CBCN. In what looks like a reminder to the church and the clergy that their roles are called out for them, Governor Uzodinma emphasized the need to preserve the norms that makes their moral authority inviolable. His words, "Your graces and lordships, permit me to also point out, with every sense of responsibility, that I do not think it is right for some members of the clergy to convert God's house and the pulpit to the soapbox for campaigns for their preferred candidate or parties in an election season or any time in the election cycle. Sadly, this has become the norm in many of our churches. My worry is that if the church drags itself into partisan politics, then it would have lost its moral authority to pontificate, because it has made itself an interested party. Indeed, the church cannot be on the moral pedestal to preach against certain conduct of the society if it has not gone through purification by purging itself of those who are diminishing its authority. I believed that true sanctification can only come when the church presents itself as a living testament of good, impartial and temperate conduct. It is my sincere hope that one of your resolutions from this conference will be to condemn members of the clergy who use their positions and the church for political ends. In the same vein, some priests under your watch have, through inciting sermons, also taken it upon themselves to inflame passions instead of abating them. In addition, I have noticed with dismay that some members of the clergy have also become open canvassers for separatism and secession. Sadly, they also use the sacred pulpit to do this. This should not be the case. The need for the church to remain on high moral standards includes abstaining from fiery comment that seems to highlight and promote our differences rather than on the things that unite us. Governor Uzodinma pleaded with the Catholic bishops to take a critical look at the concerns he raised as they begin their meeting, noting that for years since the birth of CBCN, their position has always been taken seriously by society. He added, "This conference is holding today because Nigeria, though beset by insecurity in some parts, is not in a state of war. No matter the imperfections of our republic and democracy, we are still better off in a united country. To the glory of God, we have an increasing number of political leaders who are committed to addressing these imperfections, especially as it concerns equity and justice, so we can build the perfect nation we all desire." Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State has advised the church to be wary of partisan politics, just as he admonished the clergy to resist the temptation of converting God's houses and pulpits as soapbox for political campaigns. The governor spoke on Sunday at the Holy Trinity Catholic Cathedral, Olu in Imo State, on the occasion of the opening session of the second plenary of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, CBCN. In what looks like a reminder to the church and the clergy that their roles are cut out for them, Governor Uzodinma emphasized the need to preserve the norms that make their moral authority inviolable. His words, "Your graces and lordships permit me to also point out, with every sense of responsibility, that I do not think it is right for some members of the clergy to convert God's house and the pulpit to the soapbox for campaigns for their preferred candidate or parties in an election season or any time in the election cycle." To my dear listeners, now we've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section